Hello, and welcome to the Ojisancast, a premium Deep Listens podcast where three adult men in their 30s cover anime that they watched when they were probably like 10. I am your host, Braden Arbitrary Water Redacted, the pillows of this podcast. Joining me is Peter Busby, the pillows.
Hey. 100%. I'd like to say that premium refers to only the price you pay and not necessarily the quality of content we deliver. So let's just make that clear up front.
Oh yeah, no, this is not deluxe. This is premium. This is not exceptional. This is premium. You pay us $3 American. Tell your friends, and we talk about anime roughly once a month. And also, you can be on our Discord and tell us we're bad at video games.
Mm-hmm.
Furthermore, joining us, a special guest, and by that I mean someone who's always here.
What? Yeah,
Chris Zombie Pie Redacted.
I'm glad that we are now getting into the dirty topic of anime sequels and second seasons and or shows that were disappointing. I look forward to our deep discussion of, say, The Promised Neverland Season 2, or maybe something around the parts of, like, you know, Solo Leveling Season 2, or maybe Gundam Seed Destiny.
I'm sorry, Chris. All of those came out after the time frame that we vaguely put our podcast in.
Okay, so we can avoid, like...
Instead, we get to talk about...
Psycho Pass 3.
Oh, God. Fuck. I forgot there was a third season of Psycho Pass. No,
yeah,
instead we get to talk about anime from the 90s and aughts where it just kind of ends with a filler arc. Your Rurouni Kenshins of the world. Your
right.
Yeah.
Man,
at some point we should watch FMA 2003.
But not Rurouni Kenshin.
But not Rurouni Kenshin, because I don't feel like giving that guy any sort of attention or money. If you don't know why we don't want to watch Rurouni Kenshin or that new revival they're doing, it's because the author of Rurouni Kenshin is a pedophile. A convicted one.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we're not talking about pedophilia here, just an anime where a grown woman sexually harasses a 12-year-old boy by hitting him in the head with a guitar.
And then he grows a giant penis on his forehead. And then he
grows a giant dick horn on his forehead.
Is it like that's the metaphor, right? Like it's not...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
No, this is about puberty. Like there are times when, you know, I think people talk about shows that are metaphorical about growing up and coming of age that truly don't deserve that sort of navel gazing. Pete, this is about a kid figuring out what a boner is.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it.
Yes, we are, of course, talking about the seminal. And I actually am not using that phrase ironically. The seminal 2000 anime Fooly Cooly, which came out as a co-production by Gainax and Project IG. It was technically an OVA, but it's best known for being one of the first big anime that aired on Adult Swim, and I believe was at least partially co-produced by Cartoon Network.
They definitely did a role for the sequels, which we will maybe briefly talk about.
Yeah, but no, we should probably talk about those because we're never gonna fucking do any sort of.
This has always been an OVA. Like they've never truly committed to more than 6 episodes 3 to 6 episodes per season.
Uh,
So this is 6.
yes.
Future seasons are going to be 3 to 6, but they
Yeah,
never
but
go above that.
those are literally 17, 18 years later.
As in, like, the production schedule, not the characters, right?
Yes. As in, Fooly, Cooly, Alternative, and Progressive came out in 2017 and 2018. And they're not very good.
No.
But we'll get into that. This was basically a fuck around project by a bunch of Gynax and production IG staff who wanted to make something cool.
And that's not Braden like editorializing. Literally, the director of the first season of Fooly Cooly is Kazuya Tsurumaki, who was the animation director for Nadia: The Secret of Blue Water. You know,
He also did a bunch of. He's worked on a bunch of
work.
Yeah, Gynax and Studio Kara stuff.
He was the assistant director to Anno during Neo Genesis Evangelion, and even stuck with him well into end of Evangelion before he got, his ability to make his own works.
Yep.
But the quote that I found was that all he really wanted to do with Fooly Cooly was, quote, break the rules. And that his attitude in terms of what this was going to be was, what if we made a show that was a Japanese TV commercial or promotional video, but a television show?
Okay.
And his sources of inspiration were a reference to Cheerio, not the cereal, but a discontinued soft drink in Japan, and then also his love for Crystal Pepsi.
Cool.
That checks out.
Crystal Pepsi?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've never drank Crystal Pepsi.
I did. It was the first food review on the Final Fantasy cast. You can find that in the Final Fantasy 12.
That's right, when they brought it back.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I have had Crystal Pepsi. It was bad.
Yeah. But Pete, to be specific, he liked the font to Crystal Pepsi in particular.
Because that was going to be my question. There's no references to Crystal Pepsi in the show that I can recall.
There are multiple scenes where people are using those Japanese vending machine to like buy sodas and drink them, but it's very Rammune look. Anyways, so this is less of a show with a coherent story and more of what we would say like the example of a vibe piece. It is a mixture of comedy, science fiction with surrealism, and the era in which Gynax was fully cementing their status as like being the studio with the good visuals. Unfortunately, as last year, Gynax fully went bankrupt after shambling around as a zombie corpse of a company that just made money off of the re-releases of their works. But this is not necessarily peak Gynax, but they're still there. They're still a name that you would see on a box and be like, wow, that's cool.
Wow, these guys are the guys who made, the term Gynaxing a phrase that was referred to anime.
The Gynax ending or the Gynax boob jiggle, like it was a little bit of everything.
They had a reputation, and they would still go on to do Gurren Lagann 6 years later. But this was a co-production between them and Production IG, and you can tell it is a show. It is a show that animators were allowed to do whatever the fuck they wanted with. And also, the entire time The Pillows is playing.
It's got good tunes. Like, this is definitely an anime with good music.
I think that, critics of this show have sometimes contended that Fooly Cooly is an anime music video with production values. And
that's not untrue.
That's not untrue, but it also, there's more grit, there's more meat on the bone than it's just a bunch of characters doing these flashy forms of animation to really good music. There's a choreography, and the actions do feel like they're connected to the beats and the tunes enough to where it almost feels like you're watching a musical, like a rock opera. Though the Pillows, I would not necessarily call them rock. I'm not going to get into
alternative.
But there is an element of this that does feel like it's a anime music video with productions. Again, vibes.
Yeah. I think like if we're being not charitable, but like if we wanted to give a narrative coherence to a plot, which we'd have to stretch a little bit, but I'd say at its heart, it's a story of our 12-year-old protagonist, Hakun, if you use the nickname others use for him, coming to grips with his brother moving to America to play baseball. That would be my argument for the through line.
Also, there are girls.
And then there are girls, and he realized that the girls aren't icky.
And they're all into him.
Yeah, that's... I guess, that's the weird thing is, like, at least he has girls that are interested in him rather than I'm chasing after the ladies and the ladies are running away.
He's like, I don't get this. Why is my brother's ex treating me like sloppy seconds underneath the bridge? But he lets her do it.
Yeah. There are parts of this that feel like, again, like the story feels like a very... Is it earnest? Is that the right word? Like a coming of age story mixed with these like
Bildungsroman?
Yep, that's the term of art. ZP, I'm sure you're aware.
Sure. I teach English.
I just like saying that word.
I figured.
Because it makes me sound like a pretentious ass.
Well, then I'll say something for the two of you. This show is definitely willing to revel in the mise-en-scène framing devices of just having characters pulled away from the screen and not in the center, and instead it provides these wide shots, these large kind of like scenery establishing shots that are just static and really give you a sense of the place in which we're doing things. I've always been confused. I guess like later shows talk about this in more detail. There's like a steampunkian vibe to the world of Fooly Cooly, where it seems like, wait, does this take place in the post-apocalypse? Because there's just like robots and machinery here that this is not actual real world Japan. Like, you all are totally fine with the idea of, oh, it's an alien. So like, is there space travel? I guess there is. There's giant robots.
But also the technology is very analog.
But
yeah, kind of like Fallout.
Let me do a fancy one now that we've gotten Bildungsroman and mise en scène.
Yeah.
I would also say this embodies the postmodern pastiche of combining a whole bunch of disparate elements, ready-mades, if you would, to create something new.
I agree.
Yeah, you're getting your $3 worth, listeners, on this one. I hope you appreciate it.
So it looks good. It sounds good.
Yes.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, it looks good and it sounds good.
That's it for the Ojisancast. Thanks everyone for.
So it ultimately, like, there are other characters, but this comes down to boy, alien girl on a Vespa.
Naoya and Haru.
And some robot, depending on.
And there's a robot.
And then a police officer with big eyebrows.
So
and, those are your characters.
I watched this the first time, like a lot of people, illegally on YouTube. Because during the freewheeling days when YouTube was good and people would just upload full anime shows in 15-minute chunks. That's how I watched a lot of that's how I originally watched Evangelion. And also how I watched a good chunk of Ranma 1/2.
Hell yeah.
Was this far enough back that they were also doing the trick where they put a static image over most of the screen? So
no, this was before that.
Ooh.
This was, I mean, I've definitely dealt with that too. That's how I watched some not very good anime. But Yes. And I the first time I watched it, I think this would have been, I might have been in high school, or I might have been like starting college. And I'm like, I don't get it.
Oh yeah, there was an element when I first watched this show where it's like I will fully admit that I was in the same camp of the first time I saw Fooly Cooly, I heard a lot of people on the forums that I was frequenting talking about how it was one of the best shows of the year. I gave it a shot and I thought it looked cool. And I definitely liked the music, and I went to a website called LimeWire to get the Pillow's music. And I liked how it looked and it felt and it sounded, but I didn't get the story. And again, I was also like, I might have been like a freshman in college or like a senior in high school. And I just kind of didn't get it. Like the story was completely forgettable for me, and I completely blurred out like multiple episodes. But I always knew the visuals of Vespa, pink hair girl, boy with a penis on his head, eyebrow police officer,
robots,
and I remember all of the visuals for the ending because it truly is where they clearly spent all of the money. But I couldn't tell you until we did this exercise this time. And I think that's part of the reason why I picked this show. I couldn't tell you what the actual story was.
When I rewatched, when I bought the Blu-ray, which by the way, you fucking cannot find this anywhere on the internet.
But you can find all of those sequel shows.
They have all of the sequel shows. And I don't know if it's a rights thing or if it's a licensing thing or if it's Crunchyroll, because Funimation licensed it, which means
it was on Funimation.
Yeah.
And then Funimation got subsumed into Crunchyroll, and then somehow the rights didn't transfer over. So there was a brief period of time where this was one of those shows where it was exclusively on Hulu.
Sure.
And then that didn't happen because, you know, Hulu's not going to renew the rights to anything that's obscure and old. They want the new ska. And so now you can't watch it on Hulu. So despite this being a pretty well-liked show, there's almost no legal way to watch that first OVA or the first season of Fooly Cooly, which is weird. I think you can watch it on Adult Swim's video player, but that requires a subscription to like just Adult Swim Plus, which the hell with that, man.
I will say too, so I think the one thing, I also saw this as a much younger person. I think the one image that stuck with me the most, and I think this is indicative of what you're kind of get out of Fooly Cooly, was I forget her name now, but I don't even know if it's a her, really, she's an alien, but when she revs her guitar like a chainsaw, which happens maybe once an episode, and it's boss the first time you see it, and I think it's equally boss every subsequent time. And that's the sort of style points you're getting out of Fooly Cooly.
I remember when they were just doing goofs on different animation styles, and there's like a 3-second moment where it's just looks like South Park.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a Gynaxism. They have done that specifically in the past, where they cut away and the characters look like South Park or South Park of The Simpsons. Remember that Braden, our rallying cry when we became friends, there's a moment where even Kill la Kill did that, where the characters suddenly became
almost like
South Park.
It's almost like there's
not
a
Kill
lot
la
of
Kill,
overlap.
Panty and Stalking. God damn it.
Okay.
But same
I was gonna say, I don't remember that in Kill la Kill.
Now Panty and Stalking and Garter Belt. Now that's a show. Fucking Kill la Kill, whatever. For those of you in our audience, literally, this is not a bit.
No.
Is Chris and I first became friends in, this would have been what, 2011, 2012, whenever Kill la Kill was airing. And I was like, it's okay. And you were like, no,
this show's actively not okay, especially when you get to mom who molests her daughters in gruesome detail. And then You and I got so much shit on the Anime Vice boards and also the anime
Giant Bomb.
fans on Giant Bomb saying, this is the best show of the year. And those fuckers outvoted us. And it was Kill la Kill won Best Anime of the Year twice in a row.
I'm just saying, you and I were right when
we were right.
We were right. Samurai Flamenco
should have won at least one of those years.
Is the better anime of 2011.
I don't know anything
Fucking
about.
fight me.
I don't know
but
anything
thankfully,
about
we don't need to talk
Flamenco.
about Kill la Kill.
I was going to say, I've watched all of Kill la Kill, and your assessment is accurate. I will back you up.
One might say there is a direct line from the vibes and visuals first, storytelling secondary nature of
Modern
Fooly
Trigger.
Cooly.
That's absolutely true.
The entire vibe of Studio Trigger. One might say that. Because it's true, and also because it's a lot of the same people.
Yeah, but surprise, surprise, if you've heard this before, Gainax was a poorly run studio that burnt its employees out so badly that most of them left to start their own.
And Studio Kara.
Yeah, they either joined Anno with his projects or they went on to found and be employees at Studio Trigger. And then, again, Gainax don't necessarily pour one out because it seems like the last couple of years of that studio were a nightmare.
We're just them earning paychecks on Evangelion merch.
They were going for it with the visuals here. Clearly, this is clearly a non-traditional animation. This is clearly done on digital paint, but goddamn get so much out of it because the detail and those environments, especially when it's those cityscape shots where it's like you truly do feel like, oh, you characters live in the boonies. Like this is like what I wanted out of like Ready Player One when it was supposed to be set in a desolate post-apocalyptic nightmare land. But
I think unlike a lot of the other early aughts anime we've watched, they use the limitations of digipaint and like the coloration and all of that. You could not tell it was not hand drawn in spots because it uses the flat colors and some of the flat shading to its benefit.
I guess apparently the other last thing before we actually jump into the story, Fooly Cooly is always well known for its font. I find that it's whatever. I find it to be sometimes unlegible, if not unreadable. But I think the actual controversial thing that all of us did is we watched the English dubbing of Fooly Cooly. And I will say this now, I think that the English dubbing is actually good. It's good. I don't really have anything else to say. I think that they nailed the characterization for especially those younger characters, and the female voice actress for Haruko does an incredible job, especially when she's screaming at the top of her lung as she transforms into a horrible abomination.
Yeah, and and that's Kari Walgren has said that is how she got her career in voice acting. And she's been in a shitload of stuff. She's one of those voice actors who you look at their credits and they're like, oh, they were in that. Most notably for Deep Listens people, she's the English voice of Ash in FF12.
Mm-hmm.
Which I've one of her bigger headlining roles. She was also Saber in the EN dub of Fate Stay Night 2006.
Ooh-hoo.
So another nice overlap there. I think the reason it works, I think the dub works where a lot of other early aughts Funimation, Cartoon Network dubs don't, is I think they kind of lean into the idiosyncrasies of trying to capture Japanese dialogue to the point where they will intentionally mimic some of the little like verbal tics and mannerisms. Like when
Sure.
when Haru kisses Naoya in the first episode, and she goes Muchu. It's very good.
I mean, it's something played for comedic delivery, so it makes
it's
sense.
played for a bit, and it's good.
But yeah, what if you do opt to watch it with the Japanese voice acting, which I gave it a couple of episodes, you're just getting your standard. I would say expected Japanese voice acting. Where I think
It
it's
sounds
a little
good.
bit more,
It's one of those things where it because the English dub was intentionally made to sound a lot like the Japanese one, it's kind of the same experience.
Yeah. And that's good. That was always kind of like weirdly Adult Swim speciality, is they knew how to like do the dubbing of anything that they were given pretty well.
Yeah.
And justice. But yeah. All right, let's talk about this story, or what we think might be the story.
So I'll say this: even having watched this show, within the last 6 years, because I watched it when I got it on Blu-ray, but that was before the pandemic, so I'm doing the math in my head. I don't think I remembered how much this show is just about boners, and it's just a big extended boner joke.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. It's a coming of age story about a boy who's going through puberty in real time while also dealing with a alien girl that wants to bring forth the apocalypse. Like yeah. Like, let's just mention this when the whole crux of the story is that both the alien girl and male character have some sort of like special psychic abilities. And Pete, if our boy protagonist wishes to summon or use his psychic abilities, what happens to his body?
Well, I mean, he mostly gets bashed in the head. That's at least how he activates them. And then from his forehead, back of his head, sides of the head, really all over, giant, mostly phallic-shaped things sprout out until they explode forth into giant robots. What else does he manifest? Guitars, a lot of guitars.
It's not subtle. Like, there's no part of this that's subtle.
And even like, let's say you didn't get the joke, there's another character, a detective later on, who can also manifest thing. And there's an extended bit about how his is so much smaller than Takun's.
Right.
So
like that's something to where I feel like it's like, if you didn't get it the first time, Mr. Police Officer is a fraud, and his thing, he didn't live up to her expectations, and it's heavily joked about that, his is tiny. Get it? Boners.
He's wearing the big eyebrows.
And it's fake eyebrows, because, he don't got that down there.
It's a euphemism. It's a euphemism.
She's a size queen. Like, it's
That's true. And also the the interdimensional entity she's trying to find has the biggest one by far.
Yes, this giant flaming space bird alien
is packing.
Yeah.
It's okay for us. This is a show about boners. Like, it's about puberty. And it's a very simple narrative that just kind of pieces together this. It's almost a pastiche of like set pieces. It's enough to carry us from one juxtaposition to the next.
There is a plot. It is a plot built of suggestions and implications.
And the psychic abilities and what he's able to do when he gets hit across the head with a guitar.
He merges with the robot.
Yeah, they change from time to time. Yeah, he merges with a robot. So the rules get mixed up a lot. and that's fine. It almost seems like a weirdly creative way to do the whole monster of the week shonen formula, but now we're getting smashed across the head to sprout a penis on our forehead instead of I need to figure out this new technique to beat this giant kaiju. It works.
It does, yeah. I think like describing it, it sounds less than it's more than the sum of its parts. Like once you put it all together, it doesn't make sense. That would be too much, but it is worth the 6 episodes.
And look, I discovered the pillows thanks to this show. I really did. Like I discovered a new kind of like I went down an alternative phase where I thought they were one of my favorite bands, and that's not the case anymore, but it's the music that they selected for this show and maybe even like created for this show is very good.
The that song is like the other thing from the show that has always been stuck in my head. It's very good. It's also the best thing about all of the sequel series, which came out more than 15 years later, only by Production IG, because by that point Gainax was a zombie company, and all of the people from that side of things were either at Kara or Trigger.
Yeah, they were gone.
And these series were kind of Cartoon Network dipping its toe back into anime co-production. And kind of, this was when they brought back Toonami.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know if Toonami still is in a block in Adult Swim anymore or not.
I mean,
I don't.
It would not surprise
doesn't really
me
matter
if that
because
whole situation has been Zaslaved.
Yeah, and now, we all saw what happened to Uzumaki, so I don't think
block within Adult Swim's Power Hours.
Okay.
So whatever, but
yeah, we saw what happened to Uzumaki, so I don't know if there's going to be any more co-productions from
Japan will take your money. I think we sometimes overlook the fact that Japan is as guilty of like running a franchise into the ground as the United States.
Yeah,
there are bad animes that come from Japanese studios. Like
Toei Animation did DuckTales. Why isn't DuckTales on my anime list, huh?
I mean, that's
my new
a
stance.
whole different can of worms. Is like
talk about how many
what
beloved cartoons
anime?
from the 80s were done by Japanese animation studios.
Yeah, like it's complicated. Like this is where some people would chime in. You know that the term anime just means animation in Japanese culture. It's like, bro, come on. I get where you're coming from, but like,
anime is only called anime if it's from the anime region of France. Otherwise, it's just called Japanimation.
I guess like this is the thing. Like, I'm not necessarily against the concept of any of these sequels that they've made. Like,
no.
For example, that first spinoff was, what if we took the idea? Progressive's whole deal, if you aren't aware, Pete, is okay. What if we flipped the character to be female, and now we need to like broach the subject of female puberty?
Oh, God forbid.
A decent idea, right? Like you could actually do that. The problem is that the main character is horribly nihilistic and pessimistic, whereas I think that our protagonist in the original show is at the very least upbeat and willing to answer the challenge, whereas you have brooding teenager that really just hates everyone and everything.
She's wearing her headphones to shut out the world, man.
Yeah. So it's always felt like that especially that second show was a complete like misunderstanding of why it worked.
It's kind of just Fooly Cooly again, but worse, and the protagonist is a girl. It is not doing anything new or interesting. Alternative, by the way, these the first two sequel shows were done with like intentionally done with different staffs, and there's not a lot of overlap between them. So the thing you can say about Fooly Cool Alternative is that it's at least trying to do something different and just fucking misses the mark. Because it's about a group of girls who are friends, but it's like, well, your friends will eventually move on, and, sometimes that happens, and sometimes you need to be okay with that. And also Haruko's here, and she's like your weird aunt, kind of.
There is something nice about the idea that Haruko don't give a shit if you're male or female.
She's going to use you.
If you got special abilities, she will find you and try to train you and use you. And I guess like the implication is like consume you in a weird way. I don't know if that's me reading into it.
I don't
but
know. I haven't rewatched those shows since they aired, and I disliked them. And then they did 2 more CG ones in the last couple of years that I forgot existed until I rewatched this. I have not
They
seen...
felt like they were a bit of a step in the right direction for the show.
Yeah.
I just don't like the way they look.
I have not watched Fooly Cooly Shoegaze or Grunge. But it seems like people are at least more positive on them than they are on the 2 animated ones from 2017, 2018.
Yeah. But I guess like to this show's credit, boy, and maybe I'm jumping the gun here. The ending of this show is still as incredible as I remember it.
Yeah.
Like I truly did like it's good. Like a truly good ending. Like just visually perfect and just incredible music. And you kind of get what they're going for here, which is finally saying goodbye, rejecting this like appeal to like delve into nostalgia and stay kind of like with this promise of you can go back to the past and also fight this giant alien thing that then you absorb into your forehead.
It's a metaphor.
Pete, what did you feel about the ending or like the last couple of parts of this thing?
I did like the ending. I mean, I would still maintain that if you ask me what the best episode is, and there's only 6 to pick from, I still think it's the baseball episode.
Yeah,
that's a good episode.
It's a good episode, right? It's funny. It's fun. There's always like a baseball episode, it seems like, in anime. So I always appreciate when they come around. But I think that's where you actually see the protagonist like grapple with, his brother's the baseball star, and he never even swings the younger brother Takun never even swings the bat. And now he's finally sort of like forced into it. The only thing, and I think this is like the crux of not my issue with Fooly Cooly, but like the Fooly Cooly giveth, Fooly Cooly taketh away. What forces him into this sort of growth moment is jealousy over the relationship between his father and I keep forgetting her name.
Haruko,
thank you. Jealousy between a fake relationship between his father and Haruko that Haruko manufactures to create like this crisis moment in him, which like, okay, like that's interesting. And then you sort of do the math and you're like, well, he's 47, she's supposed to be 19, he's 12. A lot of strangeness is obviously going on here. Like if you can just disregard that for a moment, it's better, but I don't like disregarding that.
Yes, there's a lot going on. With yes, some of the underlying quote unquote implications. And I think the unlike perhaps some other modern anime, the discomfort and the ickiness feels intentional.
Yeah, I think the fact that so the relationship is explicitly, at least in this moment, fake, because she created a fake version of the father, basically another robot, explicitly to create this crisis in Takun. Which, if they
So
had
that
just
the
made it
giant
the
space
real,
bird would come out of his head. Yeah.
makes perfect sense when you break it down like this. If it had been the actual real father, I think we'd have a much bigger problem. But the fact that this is just part of her larger plot, I do think makes it both more interesting and more palatable.
I agree. But yeah, I really don't know what else to say about this show.
I think people should give it a shot. Unfortunately, it's difficult to give it a shot. You should give this show a shot if you've never seen a Fooly Cooly. That part I feel pretty confident in saying. I think it's a shame that it is so hard to find and like track down and
but don't
consume.
worry, you can find it.
But it's a through line to a lot of things that we're enjoying today.
Yes.
Right. Whether it's Trigger or people who came out of Gynax, Kara. And it is the moment that the OVA became kind of a big deal. I would say not necessarily in Japan, but outside of Japan, I feel like Fooly Cooly was a watershed moment in forcing people to like understand this concept of the OVA. Like, it's not 13 episodes, it's just 3 to 6. But man, it looks good.
It's this is definitely one of those works that is like was on the early mid late aughts anime fan short list back when such a thing existed, where it was the shows that were big and the shows that came over and the shows that were discussed did involve a list of things. And now anime culture is not like that anymore. It's too big. It's too much of it comes over now. You don't need to pay $50 for 2 DVDs at a Suncoast Video.
This might say more about like my history too, like actual anime history too. But like if I think about the timeline and like what I remember being on at the same moment as Fooly Cooly, this feels to me like, again, speaking strictly from the American side, sort of like a breakthrough for silliness in American anime.
Oh,
Like otherwise,
absolutely.
it seems like there were a whole bunch of them that's like, while good, very, very self-serious. You know what I mean? Like nobody
This
would
was
really
a
call.
very
Yeah, like Dragon Ball Z has gotten way sillier as it's gone on, but like early days when it was on Adult Swim, very serious.
Yes. I think it must needs be emphasized how big a deal this was in the English-speaking anime community around the time. And you can go back to it now and be like, yeah, it's a music video for the pillows with cool visuals. And be half right. But I think for a lot of people, and I definitely myself, there wasn't really anything like it that was easily accessible in English. But this aired on Cartoon Network. So
like it was kind of like a gateway drug in a weird way. Like it was a gateway work where people who watched Fooly Cooly then checked out OVAs, sometimes good, sometimes bad. But
and this was also around the same time as the Cowboy Bebop dub, when Cowboy Bebop was on Adult Swim.
And then I feel like
those two together.
There was another show that I think that served as like a gateway for a lot of people, and that was highly stylistic and also didn't overstay its welcome. But Samurai Champloo was another one.
Mm-hmm.
Which
like
you might see that one later on. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was also an Adult Swim thing, if I recall correctly.
I mean, yeah, that was
you recall correctly.
Watanabe. So yeah, the overlap with Cowboy Bebop.
And just like, we've talked about this and we've reminisced about it before, but boy howdy, remember that period where before today when you still had to kind of like be quiet about the fact that you liked anime?
Mm-hmm.
Man, you had to like put your DVD box set of whatever shit you bought from the mall into a paper bag so people wouldn't see it. And it wasn't porn. It was just like fooly cooly or
But sometimes it was. Sometimes it was porn.
Goddamn fucking like Trigun or anything like that. Like it was just like regular shit.
Fooly Cooly also, like I think Fooly Cooly works maybe even better as a gateway in this respect too. Like one, like silliness and the pure style of it's easy enough. Like, all right, you're a first time viewer, just vibe with this for a little while. But also like the very fact that like Fooly Cooly, the title is incomprehensible and remains incomprehensible for the entirety of at least the first season. I mean, I didn't watch any of the other ones. Creates this sort of like in the know aspect to it. Like if you walked into a store and picked this up and never seen it before, you'd probably pronounce it FLCL, and you'd seem like an idiot. So it's nice that you get that early entry point, but also lets the viewer express their insider knowledge when they say like, "Have you checked out Fooly Cooly yet?"
I'm glad you mentioned that. It was this, and then it was also, kind of like, look, gateway, anime culture back in the day was like a very gateway oriented thing, but you would look at someone weird if they said it as Hunter Cross Hunter, not Hunter X Hunter or Hunter Hunter. Because we knew how to call it correctly, god damn it.
Yeah, it's Hunter Hunter.
But yeah, totally. I'm glad I picked this. I think that we've tested our nostalgia, and this gets the stamp of approval. Nostalgia justified.
I still like this show.
It was fun.
It's a nice, quick watch.
Like you almost would assume like you could reboot Fooly Cooly today because like the whole concept of like vibing with the show, just sitting back and like letting it wade over you. Like that, this is now mainstream now. This isn't like some sort of new concept or like an alien idea. Like just kick back and just let it vibe with you. This is now mainstream in a weird way.
Yeah, I think there's two questions you'd have to ask though if you're going to reboot this. One, well, setting aside content questions, you probably have to ask a few of those too. But one, how many episodes could this like maintain? Like, I think 6 is good. If you gave me 12 episodes of Fooly Cooly, I'd have to ask what you were doing with that second half. And two, if you were going to do more than 6, I don't think it works as a drop. Like, if you put 12 episodes of Fooly Cooly on Netflix at once, and I tried to watch them in a string, I don't think I could do it. I think you give me one a week, and I'm like, nice. This is my like 8 o'clock Tuesdays. That's my Fooly Cooly half hour. Then we circle back around next week, and I'm ready to vibe again.
I think that the weird, unfortunate reality is, and I think that Netflix has finally gotten a little bit better about this. Everyone, when you release something on streaming, wants every episode all at once.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I won't act like I won't.
And that's both good and bad, right? Like, you're right. Like, the convenience of, like, I really don't want to wait a week to see the next episode. Or in the case of, for those of you that remember, like, Star Trek on television, I'll never forget this. And I tell this story to anyone that talks about how, man, I have to wait until next week. So for us Star Trek fans, when we were watching Star Trek The Next Generation, Best of Both Worlds Part 1 aired, and it ended with a to be continued stinger at the end, in which Picard was revealed to be a Borg at the very end. And it was a huge moment. It's like, holy shit! Picard might not come back. He's an alien now. He's a bad guy. And you literally had to wait an entire year to see the continuation of that storyline. And then all the while, like, people were convinced that he wasn't going to come back, that Patrick Stewart was out, because apparently the reason why they did that was he was in contract negotiations and they didn't know if he was actually going to be the full-on captain for the rest of the show. Some of that is apocrypha, but us Star Trek fans had to wait a year just to find out if the captain was dead. And so now, never again. And I kind of like that.
Well, now you need to wait 2 to 3 years between television seasons, and they're only like 12 episodes at most.
And
Just
the
like
sad
anime.
thing is it sounds like if you follow the documentation, like that extra time still has not necessarily led to a better, more humane treatment of the people who work in the anime industry. Like the tomes of documentation about how it's mostly interns getting fucking heaps of work, no credit, and just like pulverizing their enthusiasm and their love for the industry and the artistry of animation. Just, it's dire. Oh wait, I sound like Pete. Fuck.
Nice.
These workers are being exploited, Chris Zombie Pie Redacted.
I will say too, while we're on the subject of these, it wasn't focused on anime, but The Ringer, a website I otherwise don't think does very good stuff, did do a good article on the increasingly long run times, or wait times, I guess I should say, between TV seasons. Anyone cares.
Mm-hmm.
And that's even true in anime.
Yeah.
It has different causes, but
man, Pete, we're really gonna have to like you and me and Gino. We really are. Like, this is totally off topic, but I just want to say this because I think we're about to wrap up. We're maybe the last generation that remembers how good fucking Grantland was, dude.
I think about it a lot.
I think about that.
I think about it a lot when I think about how, I mean, maybe I was a younger man when I really did love Bill Simmons. But I remember when he
wasn't obnoxious when he was running Grantland. He was like,
he was legit
kind of
back in the day, and now he's terrible too.
God, but watching him be miserable during that Celtics series this season, oh man,
it's straight into my veins. But yeah, I miss Grantland almost every day. I'll make a plug, another one for content that's not ours. Defector. That's the people who used to be original Deadspin before they ruined Deadspin too. They made their own employee-supported website, Defector. Tons of good stuff over there too. It's not like Grantland Heights, but for like putting out, 8 to 12 articles a day, real good stuff over there.
Even I know what Deadspin is. I don't watch the sports.
I think about Grantland. I think about even like the cottage industry of like essayists for, anime editorials and stuff, Braden, to be a little bit more specific. But man. So this show, we recommend it.
Yeah.
Check it out.
It's my pick now, right?
Yep.
It is.
Oh God. Okay. I'm gonna give you. I'm going to give you a choice.
But don't say the title.
Between two wacky 90s sci-fi comedies.
Okay.
Speaking my language.
Or another emo thoughtful show from the mid-aughts.
I was thinking I would pick sci-fi comedies. I mean,
yeah, I'm gonna go with Pete. I'm gonna say let's go with sci-fi comedy.
Okay. Do you want to do Martian successor Nadesico or the irresponsible Captain Tyler?
I don't know anything about either of them.
Oh boy.
They're both 26 episodes.
Okay.
One is from 93, one's from 96. I'm sure they've aged super well.
So, Martian successor Nadesico, just to like talk about a little bit this too. So, 26 episodes. Two big things that come from Nadesico is it's a comedy mecha space opera, basically trying to like more actively parody Gundam. It is, I'm not going to say notorious, but it has
a pervert show.
It's a little bit of a pervert show, but it's known for two things. The lead artist for that show went on to do the Odomadius franchise.
Okay.
So they look away, and also designed the Xenoblade Chronicles suits, like the specific like women's outfits, and the outfits. And then also in Japan, that series is a bit of notorious in one key area. It lost its time slot, a primetime time slot on TV Tokyo, to Pokemon.
Tough L.
So,
all right,
just
let's
think
go
about
with
that
one. Let's go with Martian's successor Nadesico over irresponsible Captain Tylor.
I mean, we're gonna have to talk about jiggle physics, but
we're gonna talk about jiggle physics. We're gonna learn about space, and
so every time you've said that name, it's just slid off my brain. So I got a notepad here.
Martian successor Nadesico.
Perfect. Okay.
It is a 26 episode anime comedy series. It also has 2 movies that we may or may not talk about.
Yeah.
It's from 1996.
It's an interesting like hindsight thing. But yeah,
I've never seen it.
It's not totally a pervert thing. It's just, look, it's a mecha show from
it's a show.
96. The girls got boobs, and they are all the outfits when they go into the mech suit are skin tight. Like fucking, it's that.
Hey man, the director still worked on Overlord.
Yep.
So,
All right. So there we go.
That'll be it for this month. So look forward to wacky comedy in space, and also goofs about the Gundam franchise that don't necessarily. At some point, we're going to have to watch a Gundam show. The problem is they're all either 12 episodes and incomprehensible, or 56 episodes.
Yeah, and there's so many. Like, which one do you even pick?
I mean, I have opinions on that.
I'll leave it to you. That's fine with me.
But the problem is I always think I should just watch original Gundam, and then I see how long it is, and I go, oh.
I wonder, like,
instead.
Yeah, what if we watched One Piece, guys?
I mean, One Piece would fit in the Ojisancast frame of time.
Is there a Robotech series that we could cram into this? It's the one with the Nyan show, right?
We just watch fucking Macross. If you want to watch Space Defense,
probably
Super Dimension Fortress Macross, we can watch fucking Macross.
Trying to think, like, are there other franchises where we would have to make an executive decision, like which one do we need to see?
I think for Macross, we watch we either watch the original or we watch maybe Macross Plus or Delta.
Okay.
Anyways, that is how I feel.
Once again, Pete, Nadesico, Martian Battler, Super Suit.
Martian successor, Nadesico. It's on the Crunchyroll.
It's on Crunchyroll. Thank God.
I don't have to go to places to find it. Thanks everyone for listening. Tell your friends about us. Tell us we cover the wrong anime or the right anime. You have the power. And remember, there's no such thing as cheating and finding anime on the internet. Is that anything?
Sure.
All right. Bye.
See you, everybody.